doesn't work so well. Like this bit, maybe. Yeah. Gemara teach us in Masechet Shabbat that there were Rabbi Akiva has 12,000 couples of students that they didn't respect each other, and they died probably in some epidemic, some in just in few months they died 24,000 people, the students. And since then we saw about that, and in the day 33 different counting, they stopped, they quit dying, and we try to celebrate that. But real meaning, it's something else. It's just a historical, it's like a story. What stands behind this story? We'll start from, we try to analyze what does it mean that they didn't respect each other. What, they were like a barbarian, they were like talk like criminals. What does it mean that they didn't respect? And that's what we'll try to understand. We start from the fact that the argument in Judaism, it's a very good thing. We like to argue with each other, but it's also something that Kadosh Baruch Hu loves our arguments. Maharal says in the book Derech Chaim, in chapter 5, he says, Kadosh Baruch Hu ohev machlokot. Kadosh Baruch Hu loves when there is some like how's machlokit. It's not argument. It's like how is it machlokit in English? Discussion, maybe. Disputes, yes. But maybe dispute. But it's not just dispute. It's that they contradict each other. They're against of each other, yes? And Hashem loves that. And he says in Pirkei Avot, in chapter, in Mishnah, in chapter 5, in Mishnah 17, it's written, מחלוקת שלא לשם שמיים עתידה להתבטל, או מחלוקת שלשם שמיים עתידה להתקיים. That when they discussed about in name of the God, like in some towards some ideal, it will exist forever. It's eternal machloket. It will never end. We usually we wait with we wait that it will one day it will solved. It will be solved, and we'll know who is right, who is wrong, who was. But this is mistake. In ideal, they should argue. Yeah, you want to say something?
So, is your name spelled F-I-R-E or F-I-E-R? What is proper?
Again?
I heard that they are misspelling your name according to your book, the way it's written on your book. So
I don't know how F-I, I think.
F-I-E-R?
F-I-E-R, yeah. That was written here. I hope that it's true. I don't know. Maybe it's argument. It's a machlokes.
Avoid the machlokes, write it in Cyrillic.
But really, I have machlokes with my wife how you should spell this name. It's different. Feirman. How you will spell it? You have a common idea among you.
There is an English word, fireman.
But it's not fire.
I know. Probably with a Y. Yeah.
You see, this is machloket. But again, I want that we'll understand what's the nature of this machloket. Why we so love, why Judaism loves machloket, why it's so good thing to be in dispute, in argument with each other. We'll start from a well-known fact that a first man, Adam, was created together with Chava. Men and women, they were together. We usually, it's written in the Gemara, in Masechet Reuven, in page 18, and it's written in Masechet Brachot. It's a lot of places. It's Chazal said it's well known. But people usually think that they were like twins, like Siamic twins. It's a mistake. It's not true. It was more look like we, all of us, each of us, we also built from two parts. Not just our eyes, ears, legs, hands, and all that. We divide it like in two things, but also, first of all, our brain. It have two hemispheres. That each of them, it's not just physically like a two eyes, our two hemispheres. No, it's each hemisphere has his own faction. And this is absolutely different function than another. So our personality is combination of those two aspects. We are not left and not right part of our brain. We are something third, that not that and not that. Yes, please.
Doesn't the Arizon say that like Adam and Chava were back to back, so they couldn't?
Yes.
It's
True. It's written, but it's true. But the thing is that Chazal explained that each thing that it's written in Gemara, you should never perceive literally. It's always some idea that stands behind this description of their physical body, back to back. What does it mean that they were back to back? It means that their main part of their personality wasn't open to each other. That it means that they relate to each other only in level of nature, without free choice. Our face is like a free choice, and our back is like our nature. You cannot recognize somebody according to his back. It's like his body only. And that's what they meant. And in the same way, like man is built from two parts of personality, of a character. It's also first man, Adam. He was not from two parts of brain, from four parts, but it's not physical brain. It's like his personality has four aspects, four sides. And after that, they were split. And after sin of first man, we start to perceive reality in I don't know how to say, like it's fragmental way of perceiving. What does it mean, fragmental way of perceiving? It means that everything that we perceive always only like a part of something else, and we are not aware about that. I'll give you example until you understand what I mean. You can. I gave you already those examples 1,000 times, so it will be 1,001. You can see pen. When you see pen, you think that you know what it is, but we're not aware that it's just part of something else. If in this world weren't sheets, how's it, pages? Paper.
Yeah.
Those things won't exist. So when you see pen, you see only part of something else. And when you see paper, it's only part of something else, like a pen, pencil, printer, something. But without printer, it's have no meaning. It's meaningless. And printer without that, it's meaningless. So what it is, the reality? Reality is something third, that it's not paper and not pen. What it is? It's idea. Idea of writing. But because our perception of reality was split in time of first man, we start to perceive each fragment of something else as it is. We think that yes, I know what it is. In science, they came to the same conclusion by research in quantum world. It was about already 100 years ago. Niels Bohr, he's Nobel Prize winner. He like invented this idea of quantum mechanics. He understood that we cannot define what does it mean electron. Is it wave or is it a particle? And he shows that it appears as a wave or as a particle each time. So what it is? And there is no answer to this question. And one real answer to that it's not that and that together. It's not, because it's impossible together to be wave or particle. So what it is? It's not particle and it's not wave. It's something else. They call it this something else in name superposition. But this superposition, was it what it is? No explanation. So they gave some term to describe this weird situation. They describe it as a complemental perception of reality. Complemental, it means that you combine them together and you understand that it's not that and not that in the same time. It's something else. In the same way, we know that that is reality. And that is why in Judaism we learn Torah with somebody else, with chevruta. And if you pay attention, usually chevruta, they stay each in front of each other. They not usually sit together, usually they against each other. Why? Because we understand that a real world, it's not that and not that. It's something else. It's third. It calls, this is a complemental perception. So, okay, this is first level. Now we go to deeper a little bit level. Now it was easy, until now it was simple. Now it will be a little bit difficult. There is a level that we Okay, maybe I'll give you. We'll start from the question. What it is? Pen, that. What? Okay, we understand, right? It's simple, right? But you know that we can describe it differently. Not that the pen, but you can say that it's blue, or plastic, or 7 gram. What it is, nobody knows.
Matter.
Yes, you can say matter, but it won't. But it won't be. But you won't give. You won't say what the difference between this matter. It doesn't define that. The use. Yes, how you use that, or how you relate to that. So it means that we don't know what it is. It depends how you use, how you relate. But maybe it's memory of your grandmother that she gave you this, and for you it's worth all money in the world. Maybe it's signed to someone that if I'll have this pen in my hand, it means that I'm a spy. It's no end definition of that. In different words, we don't know what it is. So how you can argue about that if we understand that we don't know what it is? It's ridiculous to argue between us. And that's why Chazal says that if you are sure in something in 100%, it's proof that you wrong. Because how you can be sure? We see that reality, it's always not. In our reality is like this, that we always will see just part of reality. We'll never see any object in his all sides. It's impossible to see any object that exists in the world. There is always will be some part that you don't see, and you have to turn around. But when you turn around, and then you see this part, dark side of the moon, then immediately you quit see the previous part. The reality, it's unknown. So how you can argue? What do you know about reality? And it's so strong, this idea, that Gemara in Masechet Sanhedrin says that if it's there is a situation like someone we think that he's guilty in murder, murder, and he came to court, and in Jewish court, in order to give death penalty, it have to be at least 23 people. It's not like today in court that 3 guys can give this. In Russia, it was 3 people. Yes, please.
23 halachic Jews for the death
No, not just halachic Jews. It have to be scholars.
23 scholars.
Yes.
Judges.
Sanhedrin Aktana, it calls. Yeah.
Except when they all say.
And
Except when
yes.
they all say, right?
And if you show this about this murder, that you have a witness, that you have evidence, and you all this process that comes, they check, and they came to one decision, one conclusion. All of them has the same the same conclusion that he is guilty. The same opinion that he is guilty.
So these are specifically Dayanim and not just the Hachamim.
No, Dayanim, yes. It's more than Dayanim, it's Chaver Sanhedrin. It's higher level. And they decided, yes, he is guilty, 100%. All of them says, for sure. In this situation, Halacha says that this killer, he will be free. He should go out of prison. Why? Because they say, no doubt that there is something great mistake in that, because it's impossible that 23 people they won't find even one that can see reality in different way. And if this is situation, there is something wrong, and he is free. So, what we learn from that? That they not just like in first level that we talk, that they complete each other. That they each of them they gave his part to that. In second level, we learn that they have to be in contradiction, and that it calls dialectical level. Dialectic, it means that it's that they together and they against each other, and only when they against each other they can discover that this third level idea of everything, dialectical level. The third level, it's even more difficult to understand. Third level, it calls paradoxalical level. Paradox, it means that not just they contradict and then they jump up like to third level. It means that there is no solution to this expression, to this some sentence idea. I'll give you an example. What it is paradox, really? Paradox, it's very famous Greek paradox that it says everything that I say to you, it's a lie. Why it's paradox?
It negates itself.
You understand, right? If it's true what I say, so I am lie. And if it's lie, so I should believe to what I say. It's a paradox. And in Judaism, we have plenty of paradoxes. For example, Akol tzafui v'rishut nituna. Everything that it's known ahead to Hashem, to Kadosh Baruch Hu, and you have your free choice. If Hashem knows ahead what you will do, so you have no choice. They say, no, we can explain. He knows, but you can choose, you can say everything, you can have your free choice. It's not true. Because if you have if Hashem knows, you cannot make any other. You can have feeling that you have free choice, but you really don't have free choice. Yes, please.
So, one of the answers that I heard to this, I just read this yesterday.
Uh-huh.
It was, which is like hilarious.
Okay.
This concept of to be, lihiot, or to know, ladat, these are human. These are human concepts. So when you're saying, does Hashem knows what will happen, you're personifying Hashem. So to even ask, so in the nature of asking the question, you're personifying Hashem. Therefore, you're limiting Hashem. So for the nature of the question itself is incorrect.
Yes.
You're personifying Hashem by assuming that He knows, by assuming that He is.
Yeah, it's very good, very good idea. But we even has here all lesson about as Kadosh Baruch Hu is able to create the stone that He not able to. You remember this? We have a shur about that. All shur we talk about.
The other day, my Rav gave me this, which is an answer to that question.
Ah, really? So what's the answer?
I don't know. I haven't read it yet.
But we talk about that a lot. But and I agree what you say.
Again, the answer that I read to that is the concept of creating. You're personifying. You're limiting, and the concept of can. Yechol.
Yes.
Is again a personification.
Yes.
So you can't use adjectives to describe Hashem. You can't use nouns. You can't use verbs.
Yes, it's true. I agree. But still, the question exists. Why question exists? Because we don't talk about Hashem. We talk about idea. And Chazal didn't say Kadosh Baruch Hu Yudea. They say Akol Tzafui V'Arishut Nituna. Akol Rav Menachem. How would you say in English? Akol Tzafui V'Arishut Nituna.
Everything is destined, yet you have the freedom of choice is in front of you. Everything is destined.
Everything is destined. He doesn't talk about Hashem.
How do we reconcile these notions of determinism and free will in Judaism?
That's what we talk about. That is, this is the story. That's what I try to say to you.
Aren't they contradictory?
Yes, of course. Everything is destined, and you have free choice. It's contradict. And in certain level, right. But that's what when we talk about that, we not talk about God. So there is no personification. So what's the answer? And the answer is paradox. The reality, in deep level, it's paradoxical reality. We live in paradoxical world. And that's why, and I have a lot of other examples. For example, you probably have heard that. Elu ve'elu divrei Elokim chayim. You've heard this expression? Those thought things they say when they argue about, it's from God. No, they're God's words. Elu ve'elu divrei Elokim chayim. Those two sentences that they contradict each other, both of them God's words. That it's and a lot. So how we making halacha? Usually, you know that there is halacha by if there is argument between Beit Shammai, Beit Hillel, halacha ki Beit Hillel, but it doesn't mean that Beit Hillel, they are right. It means only that halacha ki Beit Hillel. It doesn't say that he is right. We live in culture, in reality, that we always look for some right and wrong. But reality, it's much deeper and much complicated than just two aspects. It's not black and white like in computers, 0, 1. Reality is something much, much higher. So how you can says what is true? But halacha, it doesn't mean that it's true. Halacha, it means this is the way that you should go. Halacha, it comes from word lalechet. You should go in this way, in this reality, in this situation, in our time, in those, in this environment, in those conditions. The best thing to do, it's to do this and that and that. But if conditions they will change, we will change halacha. And really, Arizal says that in the future, halacha it will be like Beit Shammai, not Beit Hillel. So, what is the truth? But it's truth. It's Beit Hillel, Beit Shammai. Not that and not that. Truth is something else. It's another level. And that's why we understand when we decided what kind of halacha it will be, we not discover those halacha. We engineering this halacha. I know that it's what I'm saying to you. It's difficult to understand because we grow up. All of us grow up in culture that, as I said before, like a two-aspect culture, like a duality, dual culture, or you can say dichotomical culture. That there is always good and bad, right and wrong, black and white. But it's not true. This is Greek's culture.
And
It's not.
Zoroastrianism as well.
Yes, and Zoroaster also. There are good God, bad God. But Judaism perceives reality much deeper, and it's also even science today. They came to the same conclusion, and like we get used that each science he discovers some physical law. For example, why this thing fell down? It's because gravity, right? Everybody knows. It's Newton discovered all this story, right? But this pen fell down also before Newton.
He simply discovered something that already existed.
Yes, he decided. He just defined. Yeah, he defined, but we relate that he discovered some law, but it's not true. He didn't discover any law. What he did, he gave his explanation to some event. This is the event, and his explanation, just explanation. And before Newton was different explanation. For example, explanation of Ptolemaeus. And after Newton today, we have different explanation of the same fact. Today, we don't say that it fell down because of gravity. We say Einstein, he proved already, it's proven that it fell down because there is some changing of space. When there is a physical object, they create around them changing of space. Squeeze each thing create a twisting of a space around that. And that's why if you can see it like this. If you have if I have some like a ball here, right? This is matter, not just matter. It will say something like this. We'll make a how do you say it's like a fabric. It's like a fabric.
Stretch a sheet. And you put a ball
Yeah,
on it,
yeah.
Things will move towards the ball.
Yeah.
Not exactly a dent.
Huh?
Is the mark?
You know, it's like a fabric, and you put like a sheet, and you put ball there. It will make this, right?
Yeah.
So the same happened in a space also. Each object create around it some like a twisting of a space. This space twist around that, right? And that's why it fell down. This is Einstein explanation. So it's who is right? Ptolemeus, Newton, Einstein? Of course, nobody, because they don't discover something. Like Columbus, he discovered America. But America, it was there already before Columbus came, right? So he just finds something that exists before. But in science, they say it's not like that. In science, there is some event, but the law doesn't exist. Law, you the one who define this law, who create the law. And also the same thing we say in Judaism. Chazal, they don't try to know what Kadosh Baruch Hu want in this situation. Chazal, they create halacha. They not try to figure out Hashem's will. They decided what Hashem's will be. And that's why they can change halacha. Now it's halacha like this, and we can see a bright example. You remember the story about Tanuro shel Achnai. It's written. It's machloket between Rabbi Yehoshua and Rabbi Eliezer. They argue about some halacha, and Rabbi Eliezer said, "I'm right, and if I'm right, I want that Hashem will prove that I'm right." And they heard some suddenly voice that come from heaven and say, Rabbi Eliezer, right. It is he. Halacha is like he says. And Rabbi Yehoshua stand on his legs and he says, no, that is lo bashamayim. You don't interrupt. Really. And they decided that halacha was against of Rabbi Eliezer, though that Kadosh Baruch Hu says that Rabbi Eliezer tzodek, that he is right. You understand? This is idea of Judaism. It's very deep, very complicated approach to reality, to halacha, to physical laws. It's much higher level than just, okay, so why they argue and why they died in those times? It because because they thought that his opponent, he's not he's less than him. Maybe it's not right. He relate to his opponent, not someone that complete him, or that we together try to figure out to find some solution. He relate to his opponent that he's somebody less than him, and not just less. He relate to him with like as a, I don't know how to say it in English, nikur. You know how you have in your...
The forbidden fats from the animal?
It's not enemy, nikur. You know this, somebody knows this word, nikur. Nikur, it's that he's stranger. Stranger, strange. He's like an alien. He's not, we're not together, he not belongs to me. We're not the same. We're not just two parts of each other, but you are strange to me. You're
Foreign?
foreign. Yeah, it's something like
So you're not comfortable.
so this is, they not respect each other. Respect, it's not to say, oh, I respect you. It's not a politeness. Respect is when you aware that someone else, it's you yourself in different dimension. It's a you, but with big beard, or with black hat, or a female appearance. It's you. That is respect. Respect, it's not attitude. It's your inner philosophy. It's your spiritual statement. And when it's like two hemispheres that work together, that's how we should relate to each other. And then it calls that it's like a machloket l'shem shamayim. Then it comes that HaKadosh Baruch Hu loves this kind of machlokot, and to that, and about that Chazal says that machlokot will be forever. They will never be solved, because this is a right way of perception, like of reality. We should always know that reality is much deeper, and we try to get to the another level, another, and no end.
It's like if people who learn Zohar or Kabbalah, it's like reality, but it's very hidden and it's deep.
Yes.
So it's just a deep level.
Yes, exactly. So we are. That's what we learned from them in Lag BaOmer. That's what they teach us. I want again to remind you that I have a book in English. It's written in